Hi everybody, Psychic Medium Carla here for part 3 of Soul Contracts, and today I'm going to be talking about free will and how much free will do we actually have? I think you'd be surprised that we don't have as much free will as some people might think we do. Do we have some? We do. We don't have as much as people think. And this is something that I know only because of talking to dead people, highly evolved beings, ascended masters, spirit guides, these types of entities. And also just remembering, I remember a lot of stuff, not as much as I would like to. Our brains would explode, but still. So do we have some free will? We do. How much do we have? I cannot exactly tell you, but it's not as much as people think. If something is not in your destiny, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I know that's hard for people to grasp, like the big things, like what you're going to do for a career, or who you're going to end up marrying, or how many people you're going to end up marrying, or whatever. If it's not meant to be, honey, it's just not meant to be. And there's nothing you can do to make it happen. You could pray all you want to. You can try and do spells if you want to. And that's one of the things that people don't understand. Sometimes when somebody does a spell, does some kind of witchcraft or whatever for something specific, if that is not aligned with who you are, and it's really not meant to be, that spell's not going to work. Okay, that's one of the reasons why some spells don't work. You can do spells to try and get things to come to you quicker, as long as you're not hurting anybody or you're not hurting yourself or anything. Yes, you can do that. Doing spells and things like that, it's just manipulating. It's manipulating energy is what you're doing. But if it's not meant to be, it's not going to happen. You might get it for a little while because you manipulated it enough to get it, but it's not going to last. Perfect example of that is somebody who tries to cast a love spell on somebody. They are dead set. They want this one person. They don't want to think about anybody else or whatever. And they do something. They end up together a couple weeks, couple months or whatever. Gone. They're not supposed to be together. Maybe they were only supposed to be together for a certain amount of time, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, whatever. Then it goes away. Same thing with with jobs and stuff like that. Say your free will, you have, say right now, today, right now, I decide I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to become a lawyer. My free will just said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to do readings anymore. I'm not going to do Reiki. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going back to school again, which I wouldn't do because I went to school for too long for several things. So anyways, I'm just using that as an example. If it's not in my destiny to become a lawyer, I can go to school all I want to, and I could spend all the money I want to on classes and go to law school and all that stuff, and it's just not going to happen. Either you're not going to pass the bar exam, and you can take it 30, 40 times, you're not going to pass it. Or I just don't have the, I just don't have the brains to be a lawyer. Or not necessarily even that you don't have the brains. Maybe you just can't comprehend the material, okay? You can't comprehend the material. and we can use everybody as an example here for this. It doesn't have to be me. I'm just using me as an example. I cannot comprehend the material. There is just too much. There is too much stuff to learn to be a lawyer, and I cannot remember it. So I could keep taking the same class over and over and over again, and I'm dead set. I'm going to be a lawyer. Damn it, I'm going to be a lawyer. I don't care if it takes me 20 years. Well, you do it, you do it, you do it. You take the classes, you fail the classes, you do it again, you do it again. I never become a lawyer. It's not in my destiny. It doesn't happen. But my free will pushed me. Well, I pushed me because I really wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer. Or I want to be a lawyer, so I'm going back to school. You know, and I spend the next 20 years, by the time I'm collecting Social Security, to try and be a lawyer, and it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So that's an example as well of you and your free will, but things not turning out the way that you want them to with your free will. Other examples of free will that can affect you and that can affect other people. Okay? As soon as I get off, we're going to use this as an example. You know what? I'm not going to use myself. But we'll use, you know, anybody out there. You're sitting at home. You're going to watch the football game on Thursday night, and you drink 24 beers. You drink 24 beers at your buddy's house. Your buddy says, you know what? You really wasted. You need to stay here, spend the night. No, I'm okay to drive. Are you? No, of course you're not. You drank a case of beer. You're not okay to drive. Well, your buddy goes to sleep. You pretend to go to sleep on the couch. You get up and you say, you know what? I'm going home. I don't want to stay here. You choose to get up and drive your car. You get up, you drive your car. You go for about 3 minutes and you run into somebody. You just caused an accident because you just had to get up to drive home. Now, technically, you're not going to know if this was your free will or this was something that you pre-planned until you get to the other side. For this example, accidents happen that are pre-planned. They do. They happen all the time. But accidents also happen that are not pre-planned. Wrong place, wrong time. You make a split-second decision to do something stupid that was not pre-planned, and you cause somebody else harm or you cause yourself harm. Now, with things like this, you don't know if it was pre-planned or not unless you go to get a reading with somebody, because a lot of times either your spirit guides or your family and friends, your loved ones, will come through and say, hey, that was planned. That was something that was pre-planned. That was supposed to happen. Or they'll say, hey, idiot. Well, no, some dead people do talk like that. That was not supposed to happen. You made a really bad decision, and now you're paying for it. Because either you have a DUI, or you injured somebody very badly, or you injured yourself. And the only way you can know if it's something that it was pre-planned is if somebody tells you. If you go to somebody like me, or when you pass away, when it's your time and you cross over, when you're going through your review, they're going to say, hey, you know what, this wasn't supposed to happen. You made a split second decision, and you kind of screwed this up for someone else, because that does happen. This is another example of free will. Is when somebody decides they just can't take it anymore, and they just want to leave the physical. Suicide. This is not a good free will choice because it affects many people. Sometimes suicide is in the soul contract. Okay, sometimes it is in the soul contract, and it is the purpose of it is for learning, and it is for growth, and it's usually for the people that are left behind. Sometimes the people that are left behind start some, great support groups or organizations or whatever. They do a lot of work helping other survivors, the families of suicide and things like that. But that is cutting your contract short. You're supposed to be here for 87 years, and you decide to check out at 27. You say, I can't take it anymore. You might have some mental issues that you're dealing with, like depression, manic, bipolar manic disorders, or any other kind of disorder. And this was something that you planned while, for this incarnation, you did plan these disorders to see, I'm going to have these disorders and I'm going to rise above it. I'm going to see how I deal with it. I'm going to help other people that have these disorders. And for whatever reason, you just decide, no, I'm not going to do that. I want out. I can't take it. So you decide to cross yourself over. And sometimes that is a free will thing. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's in your contract. And you won't know until you get there. But that is that is not a good way to break your contract. It's not. It's just not a good way to do it. It's not fair for the people that are left behind. So I have done a lot of readings for people that have lost people to suicide. I've done a lot of readings for people that have lost people to homicide, people that have been murdered. And some of those were very much pre-planned. The homicides. Some of them were pre-planned. Some of them were not pre-planned. Some of them were wrong place, wrong time. Some of them were because of the free will action of someone else, and they ended up getting murdered. So you don't really know what is your free will and what is planned until it's your time to transition, and you're doing your review and everything. And then people, the entities, the elders, your spirit guides will tell you, oh yeah, that was planned. Oh no, that was not planned. Or you go to somebody and you get a reading, because a lot of times that will come out, if you're having a reading with a psychic or a medium, they'll tell you, oh, that car accident you had 5 years ago, they're telling me that was pre-planned. That was planned. Or the other way around. They'll say, that accident you had 5 years ago, man, that was somebody's free will or your own free will that caused this to happen. A bad choice, a bad decision. So you won't really know which one it is until, like I said, it's your time to it's your time, and you're on the other side, and you're talking to your elders and your spirit guides and, all these other beings and everything. And you're doing your reviews, or you get a reading with somebody and they're able to tell you. We are not always able to tell you. If we're not getting the information, then we're not going to tell you back. I mean, we're not going to be able to tell you because we're just not getting it, and we're not going to make it up. So that's how free will can affect things, and those are some examples. So the most important thing about the soul contracts is that you have many, many, many. Remember, if you watched the video before, you have contracts with everybody that you come into contact with, all the animals you come in contact with yourself, and it's all for purpose of evolving and growing and learning the lessons that you're supposed to learn and balancing your karma. Soul contracts are for balancing your karma as well. So let's say in one life you had a sibling, and you ended up sleeping with their spouse. Okay. That in turn made you guys, you never spoke again, which seems to be pretty normal, that you would not speak again. When everybody's on the other side and everybody's doing their, their karma, they might say, hey, yeah, you slept with my husband, so I owe you that. I'm going to do it in the next life. Are you cool with that? Because then we'll be even. Okay? We'll be even. And you guys say, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, that sounds good. And we're not going to speak again after it happens for 10 years or whatever. That's something that's planned. That's just one example. You say you break into somebody's house in a previous life and you steal all their stuff. These are just little examples. You steal all their stuff. When it's time to plan again, they're going to say, hey, remember? You broke into my house, you stole all my stuff. My turn. I'm going to steal all your stuff. I know these might be stupid examples, but you can understand how it works here. You're balancing things out. In one life, you were very disrespectful to me. You abused me. You treated me like shit. And I learned how to rise above that. I didn't have any hate in my heart. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's my turn. I'm going to treat you like shit. I'm going to abuse you. You see? I know those are horrible examples, but I mean, it's like when you owe somebody money. Here, I just took 20 bucks from you. Next week, I'll give you 20 back. It's no different. It's balancing karma. I mean, you could use any example that you want. You can even use somebody killing somebody else by accident. Somebody accidentally hits somebody with a car and they take their life. But it was planned. Then you can reverse it. So, and karma is not a punishment. Karma is used for learning, and it's used for evolving as well. So if somebody says, oh man, I have such bad karma, or if I have such bad luck, you don't. It's just that you're trying to balance things out. And sometimes when you're doing your plans, like I've mentioned this before, when you're doing your pre-birth plan or you're doing all your soul contracts, you want to try to knock out as much as you can in one life. Somebody might say, I want to try and knock out as much as I can in this life. So they might put all these things together, and when you're viewing it from the physical point, you're saying, oh my God, I've had a lot of tough breaks. I must have some horrible karma. Not necessarily. Maybe you just didn't space it out enough. So anyways, I hope that my little stupid examples help. And next time, I don't know what I'm going to talk about next time, but I'll think about it. Yeah, I'll think about it. So hopefully I will put something new up next week. And till then, everybody have a wonderful day, and keep everybody in your hearts and your prayers for all the victims in Las Vegas and all the victims from all the hurricanes that we've had. Hopefully everybody will be up and running soon, and just send love and light. That's all you can do. So if there's any questions about anything, or if I said something you didn't understand, or if I just gave a crappy example, please send me a message and let me know. Today Simba didn't bark. He just got a haircut. His groomer came the other day and he got his lion cut. He looks very handsome. If he'd stand up, you'd be able to see him. He usually comes up by the window. So anyways, you guys have a good day. And till next time, ciao.